Okay, welcome back to the show.
I'll tell you that was some phone call.
Yeah, we just got Yadid's version.
Wow.
Now we want to get the truth.
Yeah.
So,
well, it seems, I gotta say, it seems if there's one ump, stealing, rape, murder, anything goes in the YMSL. One ump, whatever you want.
First of all, bad job by the league and the league office only having one umpire on that field at that time, especially when it was the last game being played. Maybe we could have taken an umpire from the other field.
Yes, the umpire should have stayed.
Somebody should have helped out.
The umpire should have stayed. He left.
The umpire that did out game.
But in this league, if every field has to have two umpires, and if not, then you give the one umpire to eligible bachelors. It's not a game anyway. And a real game like this between Killer-Z's and U.S. Marshals needs to have two umpires. That's A.
Well, first of all, it just seems anytime there's controversy this magnitude, the names Ali Marshall and Ike Yadid always seem to be in the middle of it. So, that maybe we should even have 3-4 umps there just in case one of them had to leave, due to the circumstances. But, just when we thought everything was, low-key and going smoothly this year, this game, I'd have to say, goes down as one of the most incredible endings in league history. And, we're going to show you the highlights of it a little bit later, but it was just mass confusion on all ends, and besides the ump not knowing, a lot of guys on the U.S. Marshals should take blame for it. Maybe some guys on the Killer-Z's I spoke to after the game were a little upset that they won under that situation. So, it was all around. A lot of people get the blame. League office also.
It was a very chaotic situation from the fact that there were 4 or 5 errors.
Yes.
It was the only game being played at that time, so the crowd was
the crowd was very
crowd. It was craziness, and there were error after error after error, and then this broken up long play. Bottom line is the runner knew he was out.
Yes.
So what was that runner doing back on the field?
It was actually off the field and running back to the base.
I don't understand how someone could be, if I'm a runner and I'm tagged out at third or forced out at third, you get off the field. What are you doing back on the field?
Yeah, I mean, to Joe Cheer's credit, when we looked at the highlights, we broke it down to the slowest speed. He was already off the field. But I think when you get 5-6 guys on your team screaming, get back on the base, you think maybe the guy never touched third on the force. You think something must have happened. That, he's not the type of kid that's going to decide to beat the system. So something caused him to get back to third, and whether the third base coach, like he did, told him to go back, we'll never know. But regardless, it was... Oh, maybe guys on Marshall's team told him to go back. Here's the ball. Give me the ball. Let me tag him.
I actually think he was out the second time as well.
He was definitely out the second time.
So imagine the game ending like that on the same guy being out twice. Double play on the same person.
What would have happened if he threw to third to get him out the second time and it went into left field?
Right.
That would have been another story altogether.
Now, we looked up the official rule, and the official rule is that runner who was called out, he came back on the field and forced a throw. Therefore, it's interference. He should be called out, but only if the defensive team says it before the next pitch.
Yes.
So if Ali Marshall or anyone on his team, before the next pitch was thrown, said that guy was on the field illegally, it would have been a third out of the inning and the game would have been over. But they did not protest in time.
You would think Ali Marshall, being a minor league professional baseball player, would know how to protest the game.
You would think so, and he did protest officially after the game was over.
Too late. He knows that.
The league took the protest seriously, looked into the rule, but unfortunately it's just too late, and U.S. Marshals have a heartbreaking loss.
Yeah, it is one of the... I hope, and for the league's sake and for Ali Marshall's sake, that they don't end up missing a playoff spot by one game because of that.
That's true.
So you want Ali Marshall's team to make the playoffs?
I want him to get in there. I'm about getting in the right way.
We're about ratings, and we want Saban and Ali Marshall and Dash and
taking time bombs.
Yeah.
Where is Dash?
This is called the Dashless report.
Oh, right.
He made a guest appearance
less Dash right now. But that that game, I mean, it was a classic, and Killer-Z's would have been, in a heartbreaking doubleheader loss. Game 1, by the way, was a classic also.
Another one game.
ironically, David Azer started the game, gave up 3 runs in the first inning. Ali Marshall started huffing and puffing and cursing out and says, "Give me the ball, nobody can hit me." And sure enough, shut him down the rest of the way. They had a 3-1 lead in the 6th, and U.S. Marshals battled back for 2 runs to tie the game. And then in the bottom of the 7th, on a walk-off single by David Bracca, 2-out single up the middle, and Bracca's been hitting horrible the whole year. Got his stroke back for that, ripped the single up the middle, and they pulled out the victory. So that was a great comeback win, and they almost won game 2.
No matter how much he's struggling, Brack is one of those guys you never want to see on the plate. If you're in the field, there's just certain players in the league that you know are going to get it done when it counts. And,
his bat is like a tennis racket.
Yeah, he does that backhand swing.
Yeah, he just
opposite field.
You know, and especially now that he has cleats for the first time in history, so he's able to get the first. But so that was that game is it's just one of those already on YMSL Classic Network. It's going to be on. It's
actually airing tonight on YMSL Classic. And now the second game, back to the second game, which is getting all the hoopla, overshadowed by the umpire and the fighting and the confusion, was Dash ground ball right through his legs. Dude Bracca ground ball right through his legs. High pop to end the game, lands in between the center fielder and the left fielder. Yes. A complete debacle meltdown by U.S. Marshals. Complete.
And you should have seen Ali. Well, that was happening on the mound.
Well, listen, Ali made a conscious decision before the year started. Last year he went 11-3 and had absolutely no offense. So he wanted bats this year. He got a lot of great bats, but he sacrificed defense, and he's paying for it now. He's giving up about 10, 11 runs a game, and that team is going to be in a lot of wild games, like yesterday, 11-10, 20-7 2 weeks ago. It's going to be one of those seasons. So, until they find a way, I think David Azer at short is going to help the situation, but there are going to be a lot of these crazy wild games, and there's going to be a lot of errors to come.
It's definitely going to be interesting going forward. They remind me of the Rockies early on, when they just came into the league and was winning and losing games 19-18. So we'll see how it goes. Just a very interesting game.
I would say they did maybe find a diamond in the rough in this whole situation. They were desperate and put Jason Marshall at second base for game 2, and he was a stellar defensive performance. So things not looking good for David Dash Asher right now. He might lose his starting second baseman's job.
Yeah, well, I came here today and saw that Red was sitting in Dash's seat, so it looks like he lost more than one job this week.
well, hopefully Dash will rebound and get things going again.
What do you got? By the way, isn't this the game that the umpire didn't want you to film?
Yes, but he's hopefully he doesn't have the YMSL network on his cable affiliate, but. Not to discredit the ump. He obviously did not want to be there or was looking to get out. Maybe he had the Mother's Day event to get to, but he was just on edge the whole day. So it was just that was a accumulation of everything else on the.
Wasn't he reading text messages in between innings?
That's a possibility.
During the inning or in between innings?
No, in between.
In between. Yeah, he might have been on the phone checking his messages.
Maybe he was checking the other scores of the other.
Yeah, that's a possibility too. Maybe So, but enough of that guy. So that's enough. This matchup we could talk about for hours upon hours, but we still have a couple more games to go, and the next matchup was the Dirty Dozen versus Insane, which. Was actually the debut of one of your contemporaries, Moses Eastman, and the Dirty Dozen was one in what are they coming into the game? They're 1-3 coming into this matchup. This was a must-win for them, and coming against Steve Azer.
Azer who pitched the first
3-1.
Right.
And
how many more left?
Yeah, once we get it back from our commercial, we'll discuss this matchup.